Welcome to Planet Pluto.
Hey, done it. Hey, done it. Every time I hear that, I'm ready to come down the Soul Train line. We need to make that a song. You think we can make that a song? Sure, like, don't get her started. What's happening? Good people. How y'all doing out there in the wonderful, wonderful world of cold weather? Cheryl, go ahead on. Just get it out your system and tell us how's it feeling in beautiful, just lovely California.
That's all I can do.
What are you doing? What is that?
I'm fanning myself.
Are you guys seeing that? I think Cheryl is just really trying to she's just trying to rub it in. I'm just not quite understanding what that's all about. You know, how hot is hot? Just let us know right quick. We just want to know, can we just feel the number? Maybe we can feel it through the phone. How hot is hot?
82.
82?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What's up, Hair Savant? You on time today? Because you know if you wasn't, you know Luana was gonna get you. Can we
somebody else was gonna get them too, I guess.
Oh yeah, Hair Savant. You kind of like, you know, you down for the crown. Everybody know who you be now. I got my little Hair Savant, you know, Afro Hair Summit commercial already on deck. So tonight we are on, I think this is our ninth. Is this our ninth episode of Planet Pluto Pseudo? And so this is going to be, oh snap, BFF, what's up, Rashida? My birthday wasn't the same without being in Atlanta this year. I surely do miss you. We got ATL representing in the chat. So this is our ninth episode, and tonight is going to be juicy. Plant juicy, you know, as an extract juicy, you know, as in flower juicy. So this is a topic that when I tell you, I don't know which search comes up more, hair growth or botanicals and all this kind of stuff. People are really, really interested in tonight's topic, which is all about what botanicals, you know, plant and flower extract. I even put a little coconut water in there. I mean, people are just really, really loving this topic. So Cheryl, I want you to be nice to us, and we want to make sure that, you know, the plant juices and stuff is going to work, you know, for my hair. Oh, look, Cheryl, we have the one and only Dr. G. Tate is in the chat from Indianapolis, is in the house. So we're going to start our podcast off giving a super duper shout to Dr. Tate and his wonderful students over at Ball State University. Are you familiar with that learning institution?
I am not.
Yeah, so hey, let me just tell you, it's a real, real cool university. It was my first time going up there. He took me on a tour. Cheryl, my driving was so bad. You gotta say, how bad was it? Come on, Cheryl. My driving was so bad.
How bad was it?
Hey, he was white knuckled, holding on all.
I know what you mean.
You know what? I thought I asked you to be nice this evening. So,
Okay.
so welcome everybody in the chat. Oh, she said it's freezing in Atlanta. Really, 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 really. Oh, we got. I think Indiana has taken over the chat because Mal Law is in the chat. So, oh, rest in peace to the coach of the Indiana Hoosier. Was it? It was the Indiana. Who is that? The name of it? Y'all know I'm not good at that, but he just passed away. So, I think yesterday. So he was the coach that used to throw the chair, before the other chair, not the Alabama chair, but the basketball chair. So he passed away. So so we got Indiana is representing in the chat. So let me just kind of show you guys what happened in Indiana before we get real. Just kind of I'll give you guys a little bit of my my reel. You ready? Here we go. The Black World Studies and Dr. Gabrielle Tate of Ball State Honors College Student Philanthropy Project collaborates with me, Ladosha Wright, author and salon owner, as I read my children's book, Curly Hair Adventures, and introduce the wonderful world of being an indie author and entrepreneur on Thursday, November 2nd at Grissom Elementary School in Muncie, Indiana. Can't wait to see you. So let me just tell you, the kids were absolutely awesome. I think I got a couple of pictures here, Cheryl. You got to see, they was just syrupy cute. So we'll start off with the how's that one there? Oh, so they got they were drawing. They were just absolutely wonderful. I think I got another one here. So here was my little setup there with the Curly Hair Adventures. I also gave a shameless plug of the documentary. Okay. And then here was the cool part, you guys. Check this out. We had the wonderful opportunity of writing a book with the children, and the name of the book was called The Unicorn Goes to the Store. And so we're going to actually publish that book, print style, so all of the students can get a copy of it. And again, that was all compliments. Let me just make sure I want to get this right. I got the flyer right here. Here we go. And this is compliments of Ball State Honors College Student Philanthropy Project. So the goal of this project was for me to, of course, introduce myself as an author and cosmetologist, and then teach them about writing a book, publishing it, thus giving them a little insight into being an entrepreneur. And Cheryl, when I tell you, these young girls was on fire. They were the absolute bomb.com. I also met two wonderful men, which I promised them I would give them a super shout out. So,
wow.
Yeah, so these two gentlemen have their own, they're going to be new documentarians, and they're right here on YouTube channel at Dark Room. That's their channel. So you can go check them out. And they interviewed me, and so they were absolutely amazing. So if we can all drop that BSU in the chat for Ball State University. And thank you so very much to Dr. Tate, who was absolutely phenomenal. Okay. The students in the program, they were learning how to give back. And so I wish I had that course in college. Don't you, Cheryl? Like, because that, when you go to school, sometimes you just miss that how to. Like, we can get the lessons. And this is why I love, the Afro Hair Summit, because you are on the pulse of what we didn't get and cosmetology school and what is overlooked. So like you talk about, how we just get those surface, definitions and glossary, but the actual how to, the biggest one I can think of is pH.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hair savant. I was in the class like pH. up, going down. I was still struggling, but Cheryl is just absolutely phenomenal in helping us, understand, the how to. So again, big ups to Dr. G Tate. He's in the chat for a wonderful, wonderful lesson for the students. And of course, it was just my honor to be there. I think I had more fun than the children, as always, because I'm really like a big kid. So we are ready to have this wonderful discussion tonight. And it's all about, again, we're going into these plant extract, flower extract, coconut water. What is this stuff all about? And why are we so obsessed with it? Now, remember, every month, right, we have a book that we are going to recommend. And so this book, I think you'll like this one, Cheryl, because this speaks your language. This one is by a gentleman. His name is Tom Burrell. Are you familiar with Tom Burrell?
No.
So Tom Burrell, he worked in marketing, and so he had his own. I think he still does, his own marketing firm called the Burrell Communications Group.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay, yeah. So actually, one of my customers went to Martha's Vineyard and met him. And so she told me about the book, but it kind of speaks to a lot of the stuff that you talk about with us and asking the right questions. And so it's a tough read because he is speaking about our shopping habits. And he is saying that a lot of what we're doing wrong has its roots in slavery. And so we'll pull some passages from the book as we talk about this discussion, because for some reason, we spend more money on hair than all other ethnicities of people. What's your thoughts on that?
We spend more beautifying, because sometimes you think that you mean buying other people's hair, like buying.
No, I mean just like we spend more, like when we go to the store.
More
do you guys agree with that? That we spend? I think we do spend more money.
And two, and it's categorical too. We're not the biggest spenders in shampoo. See, it's segmented. So when we make that blanket statement, it's segmented. It's not everything in beauty.
No, hold on. I think that even like this topic tonight, I bet you if we could track those sales, I bet you Black women buy more rosemary oil than any other ethnic group. What do you guys think?
Well, that there's the segment of oil. See, it's a segment.
It's a segment.
So, right. And so when you get the data, let's say if you go to these expensive data mining companies that do research like Nelson ratings, or you get Mattel is a data mining kind of. They do statistics and things.
Right.
The beauty industry is segmented. And so
by segmented, you mean it's like in categories like shampoo, conditioners, or is that
almost like right? It's almost like Black people buy more meat, and other races of people, let's say Europeans, may buy more desserts. So it's segmented. And I know people will just say women spend 10 times more beauty, but that's just because, once again, intellectual laziness. But when you can really see it and break it down, we do spend a lot of time. And then of course in the salon and things of that nature. But I don't know if we really spend everything across the board.
Okay.
People, it's a myth that Black women just spend it. That's just recklessly and all over the place. And yeah.
Well, that's why this is called Planet Pluto Pseudo, because we bust myths. Because I was believing that. Anybody in the chat? What's up, Lawana? I see you in the chat. Juju, what's happening? What's happening? Sophia, Arnisa, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hair Savant, I'm so glad you're here. Dr. Tate, Rashida, Mal Law, everybody. We're just so glad that you all are in the chat. So we're going to have an absolutely wonderful discussion. And so just by a little show, or you guys can say yay or nay. Do you think we spend more money? I thought we did, but Cheryl says that's kind of skewed because that research doesn't tell us that it is segmented.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like 10 years ago, we didn't buy gel, but yet we still said we spend money everywhere. We just don't spend money everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. See, we come through the middle of stuff, and then we just kind of, we just start
And of
owning
course we
everything.
believe it, and of course we believe it, and which makes us do. There's certain purchase behaviors, and I think that was the point of the book.
Yeah.
Myth is part of media. Media's its job is to create emotional intelligence, and you buy according to what you know and what you think you know, and how you feel about certain things, colors, and all of that. And I think that was one of the reasons why Mr. Morrow wrote 400 Years Without a Comb in terms of the inferiority complex. And by the way, just to go to show you, as we're talking about making sure that we are talking about the right thing, which is critical thinking, when we say slavery, slavery is one thing, but you have so many aftermaths like, Jim Crow and convict leasing and job discrimination. You have a lot of aftermath and dominoes that fall after quote unquote slavery. And, and we just when we say it, we think that just
it's this broad brushstroke, right?
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, so tonight we're going to pull just a couple of passages from the book, and it is available. I did an ebook this time because some people are like, well, we tired of paper books. So I want to let you guys know that Cheryl and I, we are up, we down by law. Okay. So you can download this, and this is in Apple Books. And I'm sure it might be on Kindle. I'm not quite sure. But again, the book of the month is going to be by Tom Burrell, and it is called Brainwashed. By the way, if you are watching this post live, well, if you're watching, not if, feel free, drop a book in the chat that you think that we can highlight. We're not the know-it-all here on this particular podcast, even though it's geared for professional cosmetologists, barbers, and your hair aficionados. We love to hear from you guys. So feel free to recommend a book and it could be an audio book, okay? And it doesn't just have to be hair. As you can see, this one is most certainly not about hair. What were you going to say, Cheryl?
No, I do. I think I did meet him. He's like a 5'7", kind of mid tall, not
okay,
kind of dark-skinned man. Not an old man either, just probably our age. I do think I remember, because when I was living in New York, we were in the same brownstone as one of the top models of that time, Andre Brown.
Oh, okay.
And
so I didn't look him up, but anywho, his name is Tom Burrell, and so his book is called Brainwashed, and I have read it, and it is a very, very good book. So let's hop into the topic, and you know how we like to get off into it. We like to start off by getting real. Now, I have to do a little warning here. My aunt called me this morning and said, "Stop cussing online." This one here, it's a little adulterated, guys, but it's all about getting real. And so with this real, I think you guys are going to find this one kind of interesting. So here we go. Get Real. You guys ready? Here we go.
Got a lip gloss brand, and the names for my lip gloss is something that nobody would have ever thought of. I got one called gonorrhea. It's green like gonorrhea. I got one called yellow discharge, like how girls be having yellow discharge. Booty hole pink, booty hole brown.
Plant Made, a vegan hair care line, dropped their new line called The Core. The Core consists of 4 products called Drizzle, Inches, Roots, and Soil.
It's a marketing genius because the sold so fast and it smell good too. I be thinking all out the box. It's not even on purpose. It's just like my brain helped me think outside the box.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Oh no, guys. You guys can call me old-fashioned, but what's happening? We have hair care products called Inches and Roots and lipsticks called gonorrhea. I mean, come on, talk to us. I mean, the book is about brainwashed. I don't know how old Tom Burrell is. Well, you know what? He's a mature man. I'm not quite sure. Let me not say that.
Yeah, just Google him.
Yeah, I will.
Don't cook it up. Look it up, as you would say.
Okay, but I'll look it up. But we need some interaction here in the chat. Y'all wake up. Now, is it me? Can we get real? Is this? Are we just gonna buy something called Inches and think? I mean, is that Roots? Is this creative marketing? I mean, what is this, Cheryl?
It's geared to a certain buyer, and mainly probably their friends and people on TikTok. It's a certain customer, and one of the things that behooves hairstylists and say, and it's our fault. How many hairstylists, real cosmetology brands have there been in the last 25 years?
You say that again. How many who?
How many real cosmetologists led, developed, formulated brands has there been in the last 25 years?
Does anybody know the answer to that? Because I know I'm going to get an F.
Well, I mean, you think about them, like which ones stick out?
I haven't heard anything. I don't know. I think
Ted Gibson.
Who?
Ted Gibson.
Yeah, but he doesn't have a full line. He just has the starring,
right.
The spray.
Right, but neither do these kids that you just showed either. But I guess the point is that this is not a buyer that wants a full suit and who is really trying to, because I'm gonna tell you right now, as much as I love my lips, I don't think I would put something on there called gonorrhea.
You think would this be called niche marketing? Is that
No, it's called social media marketing. It's called social media marketing.
Okay. Lawana says she's not hearing anything. Can you guys, we're getting a lot of feedback in the chat, but for some reason, Lawana says she can't hear us. But we are live, and this is our 9th episode. And tonight, the topic is all about plant and flower, extract. So we're just getting into it. Hair Savant has something interesting to say. He said somebody will buy it. That's what he said. Somebody will.
Right, and I think it has a customer. Don't get me wrong. And I think she knows these customers.
I'm kind of with you, Aisha. I can't. I'm not buying any hair care products called Inches and no lip gloss called Booty Brown or something, butthole, whatever she said.
And make no mistake, these girls and everybody, they're still buying skincare from the top quality brands. They're not stopped buying, Perspectives or Shiseido or Chanel or Beauty Bar or MAC. They still buying that. But, they are getting a segment of the market that wants the latest thing.
So vulgarity for a certain market is in. Okay. All right. Well, it's not for me. So that's what happens when you get old. I'm sure when Public Enemy first came out, because my mother was like, not in my house. No Public Enemy. So I'm sure you guys can relate a little bit. So I get it. Thank you so much. Okay, here's another Get Real. And our topic tonight is all about those what? Extracts. So here we go. Here's another one. Let's get real.
Shine hair.
I will let you know. I think I've been falling for you. I think I've been falling.
Unnatural. Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Is that the new gangbangers? He was doing all kind of signs. He was like with the gut clock, I'm like, bro. I mean, that was like the sexiest gang. Is that the new man? Gangbangers is just got a whole new look now. Or maybe that wasn't a gang sign. I don't think that was a fraternity sign, but I thought that was
Your customers don't care. Now you have to remember, these may not be repeat customers. They may not make it, to 5 years, but they're making it now. And that is a microwave kind of. And I tell everybody when I'm even doing, a private label or any type of brand client, people are, especially women, they are not loyal to a brand. They want it when they want it. And that customer is going to try it because they think that, they like his hair.
Right. And that, yeah. Well, tonight we're going to get into it. We've got to really, find out, does this stuff really work? So let's start off with botanicals and extracts and plants and flowers. So can you just enlighten us on what's a botanical? What's an extract? What makes it different, let's say, from, propylene glycol and, dimethicones, all the things that people hate and, and the synthetic part. What are botanicals? What are extracts? And so let's start off. What is this stuff?
I think botanicals, and I want you guys to look them up and help me out. I think botanicals they're all herbs. Botanicals, but they're all in the family there, right?
Okay.
Right. And I think because those things are, and let's just be clear, those things are for labels. Those are not necessarily for, and you have to remember, Black hair care wants to be included so bad into the jewel factor of what skincare has applied to all of their pretty labeling and pretty jargon and verbiage and sales message. And I think hair it's just borrowing some of that pretty jewel factor language.
Oh.
And so we're kind of mixing it in terms of, so what could possibly be, and when you talk about botanicals and herbs and things of that nature, you're talking about, they hope they're getting some kind of medicinal, therapeutic.
Right. So here it says botanical, a substance obtained from a plant and used as an additive, especially in gin or cosmetics.
Well, alcohol is organic.
What?
I know y'all. I know y'all.
Well, I don't know what.
Come on now. Come on now.
I didn't know alcohol was no organic now.
Well, how do you
It's got some chemicals in it,
No.
I feel like it. Okay. Okay, I have blonde in my hair. What's up? What's up, Kofi? How you doing? I'm sorry.
Well, let me say this. The reason why you don't probably know that is because that art of making alcohol and making and the botanicals and plants and roots and herbs and things of that nature was held for special people. Um, and as we came to the Western world, those are made by shamans or they're made by, and that's why the art was called the Philosopher's Stone. And so you're really working. That's why they call them wine and spirits. All liquors are wines. All liquors. It doesn't make a difference. All of them are fruit. All of them are fermented. But when the Philosopher's Stone, when you get in there and you start manipulating the elements and you are using certain roots, because all of those are herbs. They're in the herbal world, botanicals.
Okay.
Oils are not obviously in there, but it gets the problem is that once we make cosmetics, that's a whole different ball game. And
so botanicals used in hair care products are different, or they operate different for what we put on our skin. Is that what you're saying?
Right. By the time I make a cosmetic, now remember I use that word, the medicinal and therapeutic element is lost in the formula at that point.
You mean as a cosmetic?
As a cosmetic.
Now, what about as a hair product? Does it lose it there as well?
That's what I mean by cosmetics, because cosmetic is the art of putting things on your body. When I say cosmetics, I don't mean makeup.
Duh.
Right. All of them are industrial, means that you can use them for big industrial endeavors. And then you have cosmetic, and then you have food grade. And so, but because I don't like people to blanket slavery and just in a slave kind of, don't include slavery is expanded into Jim Crow and into where we were actually emancipated. And then you have, of course, discrimination and poll tax and, and just all of the other criminalization. But the process of how we lived, we brought the world of alchemy but liquor, wine, and spirits is the foundation of cosmetics.
Wow.
Right.
Man, I love this podcast. I wasn't ready for that. I don't even know how to take that in.
Well, that's why they call it spirits. Because of remember when you, like, let's say if you're putting gas in your car and you see that little spirit, you see the little
the little wave,
the little ether. Well, that's the spirit leaving the rock, the gasoline. And so when you drink an alcohol, that's why they call them wine and spirits.
No,
they went because the ether is the aftertaste, which also has an essence, but you can't see the what makes it alcohol. And then of course you start seeing a sommelier. They start looking at the little drips in the glass and they're paying attention. But then when you breathe it in, you go, you drink it like a shot of tequila or something. You're tasting the agave plant, but when you breathe in, you feel something, it has a different essence and aftertaste. That is the whole body of the plant, but the body of the plant is lost in the liquor part. But then you start feeling some kind of way. That is the spirit.
That's my brass monkey. What's up? Where my funky monkeys at? Where are my brass monkeys at? That funky monkey. Oh boy,
right,
man.
It's the linger that is called the spirit, because that's the true essence of the plant.
I
So the
always wondered why
plant
would
has
we?
the meat, it has the seeds, and then it has the juice. But then it has one more layer that you can't see, and that's the aftermath. But it comes out in the fermentation. We call it alcohol. And it's brought into a certain level through what? Glucose. And it's fermented and it becomes a spirit.
Man, Hair Savant, he rocking it all out with you. I'm sorry, y'all. I just drank the alcohol. I ain't gonna tell no lie. Wild Irish Roll, Cisco, you know what I'm saying? SI Cooking Letter. I did not know all of that. So Kofi said, come on, Cheryl, talk that talk. Hair Savant, I can't even pronounce this, so I'm not even gonna try it. It's
Effervescence.
Okay. Now, and effervescence I'm sorry, is that
it's the spirit that is goes into it's the psychoactive.
now please do not make a hair care product called effervescence. Please don't do it.
Well, that's better than gonorrhea. Shit, come on now, dog.
I'm telling you, this is absolute. I tell you, I just never know what I'm going to learn here. I'm with you, Aisha. I'll tell you, man. We get buck wild on these channels here. So let's play. Now we understand botanicals are plant extracts. They have various purposes, and I can't even, man. So it's okay to keep drinking liquor. Is that what you're saying?
Well, at the end of the day. And this is for Kofi, and these are from my brothers. You have seen Westerns where they would get a shot and they would open up that decanter and they throw it in that damn bullet wound. Well, that's part of all alcohols were medicines.
What? I thought that was just a joke on TV.
No,
What?
They would do surgery. In fact, I am building a product line with my cousin Jeremiah, which is my father's nephew, and it's called Face Liquor. And we are making a line, all bourbons, all dark cognacs, all of whiskeys, all of those things were medicines.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
In fact, agave, all of especially the agave family, the agave plant is related to the aloe vera and the cacti. And the cacti is very moisturizing because all of the water is left in the skin. So they would peel that. You guys know aloe vera, come on now. And they would lay that on a burn, and they'll throw a whiskey in that bullet and sew that and clean it all up. And then, of course, the agave tequila plant is very moisturizing to the skin.
So can I tell you a story? So when my mom was in the hospital, right? Mm-hmm. She told me that my grandmother used to put, I see you in the chat, Harrison Voss said he has vodka, but that my grandmother would put vodka on my gums. I think that's why I like vodka. To like numb my teething. Mm-hmm. So alcohol and
let me say this, and you're talking about people with equivalent of a third grade education, and that is one of the reasons why, if I were Europe and I needed some hygiene and I needed some things and resources, I'd go get Africans too, because that's where you're talking about. I mean, the crown jewel of medicinal and therapeutic techniques. But those types of plants and were very therapeutic and medicinal, and they knew which one to go get one according to which region. Of course, the Latin America has all of the cacti and different plants. Obviously, the continent of Africa has a different set of also therapeutic and medicinal roots and herbs. And of course, you slice the inside of the ovaries of a flower, you get the pollen. They would make makeup There's certain flowers that you can't even get on your. They have a little powder in their bulbs. You can't get that stuff off. They're dyes.
Wow.
Yeah, you can't get that
Well,
stuff off.
well, I tell you, I'll be sheep, jeeps, to creatures because I not know none of this. And so everybody in the chat is just loving what you're saying. So now we're just going to kind of move right along with what you're saying about, serving different purposes or whatever. So in different cultures. So here is something that comes up a lot. And this is Ayurvedic. And we're going to bring it back around to see how does this stuff actually work on here. So we know you can consume it. I can't believe I didn't know vodka was made from potatoes. Good Lord, have mercy. I need Jesus. Hold on, here we go. Okay.
1. Bay leaves. A bay leaf is a fragrant leaf from a laurel tree that is used as an herb. It can be used fresh or dried. Dried bay leaves tend to have a slightly stronger flavor. You can do a lot more with bay leaves than tossing a few into a stock pot for flavoring. Ayurveda, an Eastern medicine practice with roots in India, calls on the antioxidant-rich leaves.
Okay, so there you have it. A lot of people. So now, is the Ayurvedic different from what Africans, the Indians, was that a little bit? And you can help us out with Ayurvedic, and then just extracting it. And I mean, pouring liquor on a wound. Good Lord, I thought that was just something Hollywood made up.
Oh no.
Okay, all right, John Wayne. But anywho, so can you help us with is that different Ayurvedic or?
Now you guys got to remember now. Ayurveda is a system. It's not a thing. It's a system. It's a way of eating according to your tongue. But have you guys went to an Ayurveda restaurant?
Anybody in the chat ever ate at an Ayurveda or Vedic restaurant? Now, would that be Indian food or is Ayurvedic? Is that what it's called?
It comes from the country of India, but it also could be different from a different region. And I don't know if all of India
okay, I got you.
Involved into Ayurvedic dining, but it is a process of your tongue, pungent, sweet, sour. But it also is about your body type. South America deals with, certain types of body types, but Africa deals with blood type, and all of that is Ayurvedic is a system that you eat according to your body type.
It's amazing how
I'm a kapha.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm a kapha body type.
We commercialize everything here. I mean, I did not know that. So when they say
I only ran into it because I lived in New York for 19 years, and and I had some Indian clients, and so you get immersed into the culture and you get it from them. So that's yeah.
So when they say Ayurvedic, like she was saying, the bay leaves, this whole Ayurvedic, that's not a brand or it's not a thing.
It's a system.
So in that term, Ayurvedic is commercialized.
Yeah. It's
okay, guys. So
it's like yoga.
You know what? I'm not going there. Sure, you're not gonna get me tonight. She's not gonna get me tonight because I'm so pseudo over here. I don't even I'd have dropped the P off of pseudo, okay? Because okay, so So how does this get into the hair? So if we're going to use this Ayurvedic oils, if we're going to use some plant extracts, now that we know it starts off when you consume it, but now you want to put it in a hair care product, a conditioner, a hairspray, or to make your hair grow and all this. How is that in there, and how does the magic happen?
It doesn't.
Y'all know what? Did y'all see that?
Now, let me just say this. I want y'all to understand cosmetics. Okay. And remember, I think a couple of podcasts ago, I don't know if it was on the dumbest shit or Pluto pseudo, but these are rituals. These are customs. These are ways of being. And as hairstylists and cosmetologists and natural hair care providers, we understand that ritual is part of the beautifying process. But when it comes into formulation inside of a jar, inside of a bottle, and we have to style hair and shampoo and clean hair, we're not saying that these cannot be integrated. But though, make sure that you understand where the reality of cosmetology goes this way, Madison Avenue goes the other way. It has to make you buy. So how do we compete? So how do you buy one versus one? Well, you go into the lexicon of what the average consumer is their perception. We're not trying to say that the manufacturers in the boardrooms and the marketing departments are dishonest. What we're saying is that they compete based on, they take in consideration culture, they take in consideration ritual. What is that region of people used to hearing? And they're used to hearing Ayurveda until we start going into yoga. And then, of course, maybe a yoga studio has a gift shop, and then they have all the neems, right?
Right.
And that's their soap, right? And then they have different from their country. And then what happens is that Black people, because we have that orphan mentality, and I think that is one of the reasons why we fall susceptible to the inferiority complex, like the book that you're reading by Mr. Burrell. That's why we fall to those certain things. Now, if we only wash our hair on Wednesday, and we like to cleanse our hair with ginger, right? And a ginger-based water, and we apply a nice sodium or a salt or shampoo or something like that. That's our custom. But we're not under any premise that it's going to go into the follicle and be more effective.
Oh, yes, we are. Okay. Now, okay. So to your point, now this is going to be in the introduction. Now, remember, you can get brainwashed in book form, and you can also get it in ebook form. But Cheryl and I were trying to show out tonight with our ebook. So he says in his introduction, "You've been misled, you've been had, you've been took." Malcolm X. And then he starts off to your point about our orphan mentality. Well, maybe not. Let's see. We are strong survivors of the Middle Passage, the whip and the chains. We have survived centuries of terror, humiliation, vilification, and deprivation. And then he goes on to say some more, that we make a way out of no way. He questions, so then why, after all this time, when calculating the achievements of the American dream, are we still ranked at the bottom of every good list and the top of every bad list? Why, despite our apparent strength, intelligence, resourcefulness, do we continue to lag behind and languish in so many aspects of American life? And of course, his rationale is that a lot of this is stemming from slavery, that we're carrying stuff over from slavery, that he's not using orphan mentality, but he's saying, he's asking 10 provocative questions as to why do we think like slaves. So this is where this book is going. Okay.
Ugh,
Yeah.
I,
Go
mm,
ahead, fight it up. And this is why we need to read, but go ahead.
and let me just say this. Um, Let me say this, and I want to make sure that everyone can really get the sentiments of, and you guys know that even in the Afro Hair Science Summit, I was always very careful about the things we say and the things we say to each other, how we talk about Blackness, how we talk about us, how we talk about each other is so critical to healing. Now, I actually think that Black people are naturally evolutionists.
We're
I
naturally
think we
whole.
evolve and adapt. Evolutionist. We evolve very quickly. Black babies evolve. We evolve very quickly, no matter what the environment. No, and it's very strange how books like that, and let me just say this, everything he's saying is correct. And it's so funny to have a book in this era, right? To me, who haven't evolved? And when you say, why do we continue to be? I don't think we are. I think white people continue to be. So the
Well,
story.
Tessa says she love our glasses. I'm kind of. I'm. Hey, what's up, Tessa, baby? I'm kind of. Anybody following Cheryl here?
It's
Y'all
almost
know
like
me.
it's almost
I'm
like
always
the
laugh.
slave the slave has evolved. We've evolved. But when you have the enslaver is the same.
Well,
So
now wait a minute. Hold on. Now, because we buy all this Ayurvedic stuff, we buy all this botanical stuff. I get the whole ritual part, but he goes on to say this, and then you can come back and respond. He says that he did some research, his farm, and he discovered number one, Black preference for high end status brands was driven by the need to compensate for the feelings of low self-esteem. He said our penchant for lopsided spending saving ratios grew out of our need of instant gratification. So we buy all this stuff because we want it to happen and we don't save any money. And then lastly, he says we over indexed spending disproportionate amounts in every product category related to cleanliness compared to any other ethnic group.
now, and let me just say this now, because this book read is going to be very interesting for me because it's going to be very contrast. Now, when you hear Europeans talk about Black people in terms of consumer behavior,
Yeah.
they say the opposite.
What? This is a Black man. He's Black. Tom Burrell is Black.
I know who he is now. He's probably out of Chicago. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, he is. He is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know him. Right. And I don't know him personally, but we've crossed paths. My point is that first of all, when Europeans came, when they talk about the essence of the tastemakers, right? Because of course we got to put that in there. They talk about that we naturally had an inclination and a propensity for higher quality things. But for some reason, when we talk about us, because we're not the biggest consumer. We're not even close.
All right, hold on. Chat.
Sis.
Come on, y'all, talk to me.
You guys cannot believe that we are the largest consumer. But for some reason, our lump now, we don't even touch China. Chinese consume and I know you guys are gonna say, well, they're producing. That's not the point. But when we write about each other, we are so not. Those statements are so blanket in terms of what the real facts are, and so and let me just say this: Yes, we are the mother and fathers of cleanliness. We are the mother and fathers on this planet of cleanliness. Order, taste, cooking, all the 7 liberal arts. We are the architects of it. What don't it make sense that we would lead? You know, and it's a really strange the way he put that. And let me just say this. When it comes to cosmetics, who are the moonshiners? Yeah. So what we're saying is we brought the art to the Western world, but we don't get credit for that. We don't even give each other credit for that. And the way we talk about it, okay, some of it's true, but we taught white people the art of alcohol, how to grow grape. Who was growing the grapes? Come on, black people.
Hold on now. My Black history ain't as deep as some of y'all's in the chat. I ain't never heard all this. Now, I can't know every, and I'm not saying you know everything.
Well, here we go again. When the conversation maybe didn't happen in 75 to 100 years, but some black folks, come on now, did some black people get spoken to with their grandparents and tell them what happened actually on the plantation, of who was actually doing everything?
I never got that narrative. They're asking again, the name of the book is called Brainwash, Challenging the Myth of Black Inferiority.
Appropriate book, though. I mean, the appropriate title.
Yeah. When I sometimes when I hear you say things, I think about this man, and as the year winds down and we're gearing up the podcast for you guys on both channels, on both topics, I'm just trying to give us a nice segue. And I thought this was a nice book to kind of bring in, because we're always talking about how we believe stuff, like we got the dumbest shit. And then we're over here and we're talking about the inequities and marginalization and education. It's really not a black thing, though we are the tastemakers in the context of America. So it kind of looks.
Well, here's the thing: if we don't change the way we talk, and I think that we were on a podcast with some other people the other day, and I said something about chromosomes versus DNA, and they just held on to it. That is the inability, even though we physically and collectively we evolve and we can change very quickly and adapt to physical environments. Our language and the way we talk about ourselves is so psychologically so damaging.
Wow.
And I think it's almost like when someone says to me, and this is just off the beaten path just a little bit, but let's just say when we talk about the wealth gap, right? And I'm in the room full of some scholars, right? And they say that it will take black people 228 years, right?
Right.
Catch up, right? And when you talk about Eastern people like Jews and other people who have had to evolve, how much black achievement has happened in such a short time? We are actually ahead of the Jewish nation and other people who definitely had a very hard time evolving. I think that, and so when you talk about the wealth gap and they say, well, 228 years. And I said, well, you guys say the richest human being that ever walked the face of this earth now belongs to the poorest country in the world. Well, it took you 935 years for 7 white billionaires. You had the damn foot on my neck. And at the end of the day, take 228 years from 935. Mansa Musa lived in 13th century. So you guys mean that with slavery, with the both slave trades, all of these hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years of just Jim Crow and everything else you throw in there, only 228 years, and plus 7 billionaires have not caught him yet. So you just subtract 228 from 900. You still 700 years later, one white man ain't caught him. My point is, it's like, well, who has the wealth gap? We have to have critical thinking, my people. We don't have the wealth gap. Europe has the wealth gap.
Oh my.
At the end of the day, who has the gold? Who has everything? But it'll never improve if I can't get my dialogue and talk about you as your blackness and my blackness. If I keep talking in these weird paradigms, yeah, is it true on the surface? But when you really get it in there and you're going, but psychologically, if I keep saying black people don't get together, black people don't get together, black people don't work together, when we already know shit on Sunday, we are together. I mean, if we could just point out one day, we get together. But, and it's just like, we really have to examine what is really true when you really, and this is the perfect website. I mean, podcast, I'm sorry. Come on, y'all, get that convo right. Get them facts right. Stop being lazy and stop just saying any goddamn thing. Shit is just like ridiculous.
Okay, so now, just kind of moving, with the conversation.
It's a perfect book. Don't get me wrong. It's a perfect book.
I got you. But I like the way that you are pulling this out. It's a far stretch. I hope Kofi Paisai and Juju is still in the chat. It's kind of like what you're saying. It's like that time when UNESCO was saying that Africans were not Black and we had no contribution to civilization. And then here comes Theophile Obenga and Sheik entered
Job.
And then they went and they proved that, no, there's another side of that, because we keep hearing that we were nothing but, monkeys and stuff. So when we listen to the narrative about our involvement in the world of commerce, of business, we look at it on the surface as if we've never done anything. And then you have Tessa, who puts this in the chat, that we created thousands of businesses and institutions during Reconstruction, which lasted less than a decade, and Jim Crow destroyed that momentum. So we see there's a flip side.
Once again, when we've had a couple of reconstructions, and this country has a couple of Black folks have had several. But if you keep having them decade after decade after decade after decade, then you have Watts, and then psychological damage. And what you do is that you'll give up. It's called give up itis. It's what POWs and people who get prisoners of war. After a while, you just believe it to cope. You just go along with the go along. You go along to get along. You get along to go along. And so, but we have to check each other and say we have to now get critical, because our children now are starting to get into those urban legends and colloquialisms that we have to just goddamn stop saying, because they're inappropriate. They're just now inappropriate. And the elevation, we have evolved so many times. We have adapted and adapted and adapted. Black folks in the Western world, and especially in the continental US, we are resilient. And so let's just talk about ourselves in real time, because at the end of the day, let's just say
there's no books. Sure. I mean, I did read the book. He did not get to that. It is, well, I don't want to be a spoiler alert, because we're going to keep talking about it, because I don't want to be a spoiler alert. But when it comes to buying this hair care products, he does, like you said, and I know you're not anti the book, but he does have some good points when he points out that psychosocial and he's specific to African Americans, but I'm sure other cultures have other buying habits too.
now I want you guys to understand, because I'm going to give you a video, right? And this is, you have to listen to how white people in Europe in the Byzantine, before even well, anyway, I was going to say something, but even before the real formation of Europe in the Byzantine and Persia and the Ottoman Empire and Arabs, and then go to Europe, right? And then
Right.
Greece, and then Roman. The point is that you are African descent, African descending. People of color, Latin descent, Latin people, or the Tejano Indian, lower South, Southern Cradle people, right? Dark Cradle, Southern Cradle people. You are the mother and fathers of beauty. Beauty, period. You weren't. There are certain things that Europeans did that we never did. Okay, and so my point is that we have to be able to just use our brain and understand, when people colonize you, they stealing.
Damn.
Okay, they stealing. So they just didn't steal mask. They stole rituals. They said, oh, that's what you wash your hair. You do this. You do wines and berries. You use this. Use it. Those things get co-opted, inappropriate, and then other cultures agree with you. This shit is fabulous. Oh my God. Oh yes, let's do this. And Africans and dark, and Southern Cradle people didn't say, "Oh, you can't do that." You do. They shared. They said, "How fine." Well, what were you doing? Oh no, that's dumb as hell. Don't do that. And so we didn't really get into that, but we didn't really get reunited until the 19th and 20th century. But somebody Black remembered. So we brought those rituals and cultures and products and ideas and now, when we didn't have the lifestyle to do it, well, we did it kerosene and other things that we could just make up, or corn, or whatever the case that we did. That is what we call evolution. And then of course, when we couldn't, it evolved. But and then in today's market, we say, oh well, you can't put it, you using black castor oil, and we didn't ever get into that. And so now cosmetology is against the natural care, and the natural hair is against. That is where we're in trouble, because now you're better and I'm not. You're blacker. I'm assimilating because I'm in cosmetology. You use chemicals and you use dyes, and we were never there. While we're talking about all this bullshit, guess who's taking it, making that money?
Wow. Can we do this right quick? Can we please just take a moment? Because that was a mic drop. Come on, y'all, hit it right here, right now.
Pump me on, pump me on.
At the end of the day, guys, come on, we got 15 people in the chat. Let's get 15 hearts, 15 thumbs up, and don't forget to share the content. So here it is. So things that we are kind of like ashamed of, and like our spending patterns and things of that nature, we need not be ashamed. But here's what I'm thinking based off of this clip. Here's what happens. So culturally, we're doing these things. And like you said, well, that was deep. Colonization, they stole it. But I think what happened is this right here. I think research plays a really big role in how we vet the efficacy. We don't turn to culture. We turn to stuff like this. So let's check this research out. Here we go.
So I thought that I was done with DIY hair care, but I am not. And that is because rosemary water is amazing. It helps with hair growth, according to a study done in 2015, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. Rosemary oil and minoxidil, which is Rogaine, both worked the same at increasing hair count over a period of 3 months and 6 months among people with androgenetic alopecia. This study demonstrates how effective rosemary can be at increasing hair growth. They obviously used rosemary oil, which has a much higher concentration compared to rosemary water. And that is because oiling your hair is something where if you have oily hair, like if your hair gets oily on day 3 or day 2 even, you cannot oil your hair on an everyday basis.
Okay, so I'm thinking, and you guys can kind of rock a Cheryl. You took it to a whole nother level, and I'm thinking what's happening is I think education and all of this research, and it's got to be sourced and it's got to be vetted. I think that trumps the examples that you just gave, and what happened to us what happened during colonization, and how we went all the way to the left as we put each other down. But I think education trumps the cultural practice, because now, even though this channel is called Planet Pluto Pseudo, the big thing right now when it comes to the efficacy of anything or whatever is said is the source. So research. So there was some research in that study. How are we to look at the role research plays and how we shop and we spend and our thought processes compared to the cultural things that we brought over? Because I think research is where people really go to the, because I got the source that makes it true. Because you just got a story.
I'm going to answer that question in a very unique way. You mentioned what your grandmother did for your gums, right?
Right.
Okay. I didn't meet my, of course, my mother, my father's mother in Alabama met me when 2. So my teeth were coming in, right? And so, like your grandmother, she told my mother, do not put any rubber. Take that rubber ass bottle and that rubber ass pacifier out of my grandbaby's mouth now. And she took me, and this way, they used to hold their babies, with their head here, right? And she took me to the kitchen, and she cut off she was cooking stew, and she chopped off a chicken foot, took the nails out, and she put it in my mouth. And my mother was horrified.
Like I am right now. Anybody?
And she said to her, she says, rubber makes the gums tough. She keeps chewing on that rubber. It makes the gums too blunt, too tough. She says the salt in the meat, in the bone marrow, makes the gums soft, and the teeth will come right up. And my teeth came in straight.
No comment.
Now, I said that to say that I do think that I don't think that we have a wealth gap. I think that we have 2 gaps, a trust gap and an information gap.
Wow.
Because we don't really, and see, when Indians talk to each other, generation after generation after generation, they understand their system as Ayurveda. We don't understand ours because they told us to go to school. Well, we know where that school was, and we traded in our chicken coop schools in our schools because we didn't have this and we didn't have that like white kids. So now you know what that did, right? And so now my father had to go back, and my grandmothers and grandfathers and great grandmothers and big mamas had to go back and get my brain. Okay, so I can make sure that what my formal education is supposed to go back and reach and get my cultural and ancestral and cosmic information. And I'm supposed to wrap it up in a pack so I can make it conducive and applicable to what I need to go and what I need to do. We don't have that in beauty. And so what we have is always trying to cope and survive and adapt to our environment. And then we try to go back and get things like, let's say, herbs for medicinal. Because when men had dermatitis or ringworm or some kind of bacteria or fungus, okay, we would go back and we knew oil would starve the fungus or bacteria, right, from growing, because bacteria or fungus needs water to grow, okay?
Okay.
Grows in water. It doesn't grow in oil, right? And so we have to be able to start, and maybe this podcast like this, but when we go into the arts and sciences of our philosopher's stone, we understand that we really didn't, and I understand that we may have started, and now that 2023, we're still making shit in our kitchen. But
Right.
at some point, lab has to meet culture. Technology has to meet culture. And we have to start going back. And we are doing these things topically. They're not affecting what goes on. And let me just say this. That particular study that young lady was just on, talking about the effects of rosemary oil, okay, versus minoxidil. And we all know that minoxidil is a corticosteroid. It forces things to grow. And obviously, rosemary makes a good cleanser. So that may be a therapeutic component, but not medicinal.
Wow.
And then we just have to know the difference between that. So if I have something on the surface like ringworm, like contact dermatitis, follicular, but when it starts getting to the scarring and other types of systemic issues that we talked about in the Hair Science Summit, those types of things. And I think that we have a lock and braid and weave generation that does have fungal issues.
Right.
Those things would have therapeutic issues.
It's funny you would use the word therapeutic, and I see we still have some licensed professionals in the chat. I don't know what state everybody is from, but in Ohio, it is illegal for us to use the word therapeutic or therapy in anything when it comes to hair. We cannot use that word. So if I wanted to have like a scalp cleansing, I can't use the word like therapeutic cleanse or therapeutic, scalp massage. We cannot.
Ohio is just stupid. That's just dumb. That doesn't make sense, because hair color, relaxer, treatments, and all that stuff, and beard and shaving is therapeutic. Your state is just dumb. I'm sorry. That shit makes no. I can sit my client in a damn bowl and give them some damn aromatherapy. It's called aromatherapy. What the fuck are they talking about? I'm sorry. Shit. Sorry, auntie. That shit is dumb as fuck. And I'm sorry that you live in Ohio, but that's stupid. That's just stupid. And by the way, the difference, the products that do have slight medicinal and therapeutic is called a cosmeceutical. And who uses cosmeceuticals? Cosmetologists.
Well, what's up, Confetti? Hey guys, I guess she told me, huh?
Well,
Yeah,
I wasn't talking about you, sis.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just making the. Oh boy, I done lost something that's therapeutic is good for your heart and soul. We
Now,
can
how many
always
times do
count
y'all go in there and be putting in your little essential oils in that bowl, and then put your head back and sit your ass down there for 5 minutes and get your mind right and put some little lavender? That's therapy. Now, Ohio, now come on now. Now come on now, Ohio. Come on now, dog. I mean, come on. You can't
Yeah.
use therapy? That's just dumb.
No, we can't.
Wait a minute. Can't consumers buy a dandruff shampoo?
Yes.
That's a cosmeceutical.
Right, but I'm just saying, I mean, I this podcast is not, every time I think we're gonna go a certain way, we just always go to the next level that I'm just not ready for because I am very uneducated. Please explain therapeutic versus medicinal. Thank you very much. Can you?
Okay, well let's put it this way. It's people. Let me answer it like this. Okay, for you cannabis, fabulous, wonderful people who partake, right? Medicinal is a medicine, okay, but some medicines are over the counter, okay, and some need to be prescribed. But therapies, I do believe there's a cold medicine called Theraflu.
Sure, make me sick. I mean, make me good.
And a therapy only has temporary effects, and you keep doing it. And you keep doing it. Medicinal is supposed to be either healing, curing, preserving, or preventative. Okay. So there was medicinal marijuana and recreational marijuana. There is really no such thing as medicinal marijuana. It means that you're doing the actual cannabis for a medical reason. That's what makes it medicinal.
Yes.
But it's not medicinal.
Stan, bring that hammer on. Everybody, if you have your phone emoji, please drop a hammer in the chat. Because I'm with you, Shan. Please, Cheryl, don't hurt him. We got the hair oracle, hair stradamus. Now we're going to call her hammer time. Cheryl, you're killing us. You're killing us.
Yeah, that's the only way that makes a joint medicinal. Because, y'all go take that medicinal card and y'all go get the cannabis. But it don't go into a back room and say, okay, give me the medicinal weed. Go give me the plant don't grow medicinal. It just grows different strains, right?
So that's an example.
But you're using it for a medical reason, which makes it.
Is that an example of the colonization taking our practice? Or I'm not saying Africans smoke weed, but no.
Wait. It's what are you telling me? There is, you have the best. Now let me just say this. The African government, I think I don't know if it's in Ghana. It could be in Ghana. But Vice has a fabulous documentary on African gold. They call it gold now. Okay.
What is it?
Oh, let me just say this. Women are becoming like cannabis, like they feed their families growing it to the point where you should see this documentary. But the point is,
I'm sorry, I didn't know marijuana grew in Africa.
Now, so as you go through the documentary, there is a politician, and he goes around and tries to deprogram Christian people who want to buck the current, right? And he says, cannabis, actually, you have a molecule in your body for it. They are now having doctors in Africa pointing out in your system, called the endocannabinoid system. They're now teaching and going into the churches saying, if you want to stay sick, fine. But the body recognizes it. And let me just say this, and it's the only plant that can grow in sewage. That's just how bad it is.
You know what?
No, it's a
Brian
bad.
hit the thumbs up button right now. Get the hell out of Arthur. Come on, everybody.
It's that powerful. Seriously. And wait a minute. You guys will see in the documentary, and the man is telling you right there, and he's got, he ain't no witch doctor and nothing like that. He's just an average politician. He says, my people are stuck on stupid. My people are stuck on, they get stuck on stupid. He said, I go in there and teach them that even the moment you even eat it, put it on a salad, whatever y'all gonna do, he says, the body recognizes it. Bing! Recognizes it. But it's an amazing documentary. I digress. But I wanted to answer that question, the difference between medicinal therapies are for temporary conditions on a temporary level. Medicinal is to treat something medical. If that
y'all see my hair? I came in all cute. Look at, I'm just disheveled. I have no words. We're coming to an end. I don't even, Jesus Christ. So at the end of the day, when it comes to plant extracts, botanicals and flower waters and things of that nature, as we can see, a lot of this has its roots in cultural practices. The commercialization, that putting it on your hair, she just taught us, it's going to lose all of its potency by the time they put it in a bottle. But you're better off continuing to eat it and create alchemy to get the most out of it. But when you start putting it in,
when you cook lavender, you can spray it, make lavender water, spray it on your pillows, and because it'll go through your olfactory nerve, front and frontal lobe, and it will cause your neurons and all that in your and synapse, and then you go to sleep. It relaxes you.
Yeah, but we just saying, be careful with what you're getting in the bottle. But you're making this stuff at home and all this.
No, it ain't gonna go down in your follicles.
It ain't going in your follicles, guys. So here we go again. Another Mythbusters, which is why we're the the Planet Pluto pseudo. The book of the month is scrolling at the bottom. It's by Tom Burrell, and it is called Brainwashed. You can download this book, or you can go to your local bookstore and buy it. I'm sure he would love the support. Also, don't forget, Monday we're going to be over on the dumbest shit that people say about black hair, talking about alcohol, gels, and waxes, because people think that alcohol and all those other cetearyl alcohol, propylene, all these alcohols are supposed to be really bad for your hair. So Cheryl is going to help us understand, is that the alcohol you drank? Is it the alcohol that burns? I mean, what is alcohol? I know something tells me she's going to bust I'm not going to cheat. Let's see here. And then when we come back next week, we're going to go over silicones and polymers, because everybody is anti-silicone, dimethicones. They don't want all the sticky stuff. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more technical again, because on this side of the podcast is for cosmetologists, because they don't want oil over here, and then over here they don't want resins and silicones and dimethicones. So we got to get that kind of cleared up. So a little bit technical on both sides next week. Also, again, a super duper big shout out to Ball State University, their student philanthropy project. That was absolutely phenomenal. I appreciate the opportunity very much from the bottom of my heart. November 5th begins the official kickoff of our 1 year anniversary on December the 5th. You can see our little thing up here. We want you guys to join the chat. We're going to play the video right here, right, Cheryl? I think we can watch it. I'm 99.9% for sure that we can just play the video right here. You can watch the documentary, and we will be in the chat. Get your popcorn, save the date for Tuesday, December the 5th at 7 p.m. I've cleared my books out, and let's watch this documentary. Afterwards, we'll stay on for about another 45 minutes, and we will answer some questions about the documentary. And starting on the 5th, we'll show some unseen footage and get you guys, kind of more interested in that. And I think that's everything. Cheryl, you got anything? I got it all?
I just hope I answered the questions. And let me just say this. And I know that there has not been any school of thought. I know it was never taught. And I know that cosmetology has not even caught up to Afro-ness or Afro hair, or Afro textured hair. And that's one of the things that we're trying to solve in the state of Ohio. But it also has not caught up to the language of natural hair. It has not caught up in terms of botanicals and herbal and plant extracts and oils. And it has not caught up in terms of, and so we're trying to do that with this particular podcast. And I just appreciate everybody being a great sport about it. Because, unfortunately, I grew up with it, but it is essential now for us to demand and raise the bar.
Well, we are doing that. We have to tell you guys again that we are currently in the process of writing a curly hair bill, a curly hair education bill here in the state of Ohio, so we can stop being stupid. And so Cheryl and I, along with State Representative Elliott Forehand and former Senator Shirley Smith, we are working diligently so that we can cut some of this foolishness out. I do feel that the conversation that you had about the way that we talk about ourselves, that might be a good way, because the theme of 2024 is going to be the year of the truth. And I think we could talk a little bit more about how we can have a slant. And I think using his book, Brainwashed, is a wonderful book to just kind of flip the script on how we talk to each other and how we talk about one another. Your example with Mansa Musa, I'm sorry, Auntie, I got to cuss. That shit blew me out the water.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was just something to think about. I mean, I just never heard it like that. And so,
yeah, and we have to start talking like we love each other, because I love me. I'm not going to be spreading no more lies that traumatize my self-esteem and my confidence. I'm not going to be talking about, my father said one day, well, black people lost the hair care industry. We ain't lost shit. Well, where did the Koreans take it? They ain't took the shit nowhere. They still selling popsicles, keychains, and karate movies and wigs. They still selling the same shit they always sold. What does that have to do with you? Now let's go find and solve our problem. What happened to it? Well, we stopped. Well, then just say that. We can't say that Japanese stole the car industry. They ain't stopped no goddamn. Took no car industry. We stopped making good cars. Let's just say it. Shit, we stopped. And that's the reason why we have to tell each other the truth. So I can't wait for 2024 to come in. We got to tell the truth. and we can have a couple of moments of silence. But after that, we're going to solve our problems.
Well, I'm with you, Tessa. She kept it 100. And so we're going to work diligently on having a different narrative. And I think I love you too. I'm with you, Shan. I love you, Cheryl. You definitely always give us something to think about. So we have to look at the plant extracts, the botanicals, the flower water, all of these things a little bit differently. We definitely must include the cultural aspects from various people from all over, planet Earth. And as Africans, we have nothing to be ashamed of. And Cheryl, thank you so much for taking us back to the middle. You know what I'm saying? As India Irie would say. So we thank you guys so much. We'll see you Monday at 6 o'clock. Again, we're going to be talking about those alcohol. Kafele. Thank you so much for rocking it out with us. And we appreciate you guys. Don't forget to share and share alike. And we're going to see you at 6 o'clock on Monday. So get you guys questions ready. And again, that book is scrolling at the bottom. And again, it is called Brainwashed by Tom Burrell. That is our book of the month. And it's a perfect segue into our theme of 2024, which is about the year of the truth. All right. Okay, guys, you know what we say when we're signing out, right? Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Good night, all. Good night, Hair Savant. Good night, everybody.